A chimpanzee in West Africa can pick the perfect rock, carry it half a mile, and use it to crack open a nut that would shatter your teeth. Another one strips the leaves off a twig, shapes the end with its mouth, and slides it into a termite mound like a fishing rod. A third sharpens a stick with its teeth and uses it to hunt. These aren't tricks someone taught them in a lab. Wild apes do this on their own, pass it down to their children, and different groups do it in different ways, almost like regional accents. But here's the strange part. No ape ever sat down and invented the tool. Nobody had the idea. Tools weren't designed, they were stumbled into by accident. And that accident is the reason you're holding a phone right now. To understand how, picture an ape in a forest a few million years ago. The best food is the food you can't reach. Termites are packed with protein, but they live inside concrete hard mounds. Nuts hold huge amounts of fat, but they're sealed inside shells that fingers and teeth can't crack. Honey is pure liquid energy buried deep inside hives full of stinging bees. The forest was full of locked boxes, and evolution had not handed anyone a key. So how does an animal with no key open a locked box? It doesn't. It gets lucky. Somewhere, at some point, a hungry ape picked up a rock that happened to be lying nearby, smashed it against a nut, and the nut cracked open. That's it. That's the whole invention. And you'd assume the ape that figured this out was the clever one. It wasn't. It was the desperate one, hungry enough to keep banging rocks together when nothing else worked. There was no flash of genius. It was an accident that paid off in pure calories. So the ape did it again. But one ape getting a snack changes nothing. What mattered was that the others were watching. Because apes copy each other, and that is the part that turns one lucky accident into the ancestor of everything you own. A young chimp spends years watching its mother crack nuts. It tries, fails, fumbles the rock, misses the nut, and slowly, over 5 or 6 years, it finally gets it. Learning to crack a nut takes a young chimpanzee about as long as it takes a human child to learn to read. And once a group works something out, the knowledge doesn't die with one animal. It gets handed down, which leads to something almost nobody expects. Chimpanzees have culture, and culture leaves fingerprints. In the Taï Forest of Ivory Coast, chimps crack nuts with stone hammers and anvils. A few hundred miles away, in forests with the same nuts and the same stones lying on the ground, other chimps never figured it out, and they never do. It's not about intelligence, it's tradition. One group stumbled into the technique generations ago and kept it alive. The other never did. Different groups even fish for termites with different tools and different techniques, like separate toolkits passed down through families. And the deeper you look, the less accidental it all starts to feel. Chimps don't grab just any rock. They choose the right size and weight, and some carry a favorite hammerstone long distances to reuse it later, which means they're planning ahead, picturing a job before they reach it. In the dry savanna around Fongoli, in Senegal, chimps go further still. They snap off branches, strip them, sharpen the ends with their teeth, and stab them into tree hollows to kill small primates sleeping inside. Wild apes making weapons! Now, here's why this matters for you. For a long time, people assumed tool use was the one thing that separated humans from animals. The line was supposed to be obvious. Humans make tools, animals don't. Then, in 1960, at a place called Gombe in Tanzania, a 26-year-old researcher named Jane Goodall watched a chimp she had named David Graybeard pluck a stem of grass, trim it, and fish termites out of a mound with it. When she sent word back, her mentor, Louis Leakey, replied that we now had to redefine the word tool, redefine man, or accept chimpanzees as human. Because our own ancestors started in exactly the same place. The oldest stone tools we have ever dug up are around 3 million years old, older than our own genus, shaped by ape-like ancestors doing the very same thing, smashing rocks to reach food they couldn't otherwise get. So no one invented technology. There was no first inventor, no eureka moment, no spark of pure genius. There was a hungry ancestor, a rock that happened to work, and a brain just social enough to copy what it saw and pass it on. Every hand axe, every wheel, every engine, every screen sits at the end of that one chain. The accident never stopped being an accident. We just kept copying it, improving it, and handing it down, generation after generation, for millions of years. So the next time you unlock your phone without even thinking about it, remember, you are doing the exact same thing that ape in the forest did, reaching for an object that isn't part of your body to get something you could never get on your own. The chimp cracking a nut and the human checking a notification are running the same ancient program. It was never really invented, it was inherited, all the way back to a moment nobody planned, when a starving ape picked up a stone and accidentally started everything. And tonight, that phone is going to sit on the table next to you, the newest link in a chain millions of years long. You probably never thought about where it actually came from, but now you do.